The content of this meeting is being sent to a third party.
That's right.
A third person is watching this?
We're lucky to have two.
I hope those parties are more fun than this one.
There are two Forest Cs.
Yes, there is.
It's weird.
Oh, it shouldn't be weird. Welcome. It's February 23rd, day after the second year anniversary of the Russia invading Ukraine. Hope you're doing well. Am I still out in the cold? I most certainly am. Here we go. There's a picture of the cold. That's me in the cold right there. But actually, it's been above zero. So that's good. I have some good news. On Monday at 7 Eastern Time, Paul J. from the Analysis News Network and a documentary producer. And he did who's the wrestler there? Dave. Help me out, Dave. The wrestler. Oh, Bret Hart. He did a documentary on Bret Hart. And he will be joining us at 7. And they've been doing a lot of good stuff at the Analysis News about Israel and about Ukraine. So we'll get his opinion on both. And next week, as soon as we firm up a time, it'll probably be about noon or 1 Eastern, will be Konstantin from Inside Russia, who will come in and give a Russian viewpoint on the war, which he's against the war, and he's living in another country, and his YouTube has blown up, and rightly so. And he's a good guy. He used to live in America, and now he don't. We'll start off by the celebrations in Belarus.
That's what we're fighting for.
What a bunch of jerks, eh? TikTok soldiers in Belarus. They're not celebrating the war. They're just showing us how tough they are. This next slide here is another Russian airplane getting blown up in Ukraine.
Is that real or one of those video games?
Въебали, прикинь! А куда он упадет, блядь? Несколько дней туда, на Лиманы. Прикинь, за ним несколько шло ракет, получается. Он одну вот там попал, а вторая вот попала в самолет. Вот оттуда он летел, бахало, и били. Подожди, а что это гудит? Это поезд. Это где-то он упадет у нас, прикинь? Не у нас.
That's the second one that they've got that they blew up, and I will give you information on that in 2 seconds here.
Can you hold on a second? I forgot to get a koala.
You go ahead. What is that about? That's about Russian stuff blowing up. It's an A-50 command and control plane that blew up. Let me there we go. So that's this puppy here. And that's the second one. And it's like an AWACS airborne command and control plane. They cost a lot of money. And so sad, I guess. I'm not sure. But we also have confiscated Russian funds will be transferred to Ukraine via Estonia per the Department of Justice. So that is amazing because we all know that in the Congress right now, the bill is stalled on giving Ukraine any more money. And we are on Ukrainian Invasion Day 731. And here an article by Annie Lee from the Daily Costs. Transnistria, which is got Russian troops in it, is about to declare independence. And they're only 50 kilometers from Odessa, so chances are once they declare independence, then Ukraine can go in there and wipe them out if they want. As well as Romania is going to have to do something about it.
Said recording stopped.
Yes, yes, it did. But we're okay. So to help Ukraine, there's rallies all over the world. And in your state, and I'll leave some links to the map to stand with Ukraine. And here's another map, and it's in Russian, it's in Ukrainian, but you can kind of figure out by going on the dots where there is one in your neighborhood here. Okay. So the big news is Navalny, which we will be talking with Paul J on Monday about being killed. Biden has met his wife and his child. His mom is still trying to get the body, and the Russians are asking for a private funeral because if it was public, chances are there would be thousands of people there. Navalny, the opposition leader, though his views and my views wouldn't be the same on Ukraine. However, he was an opposition figure in Russia. Here's one of the links to Stand With Ukraine World at the anniversary tomorrow or the March. Here's another one. Believe in Ukraine. And like I said, it's day 731 of Ukraine invasion. And I don't know, I've been hearing from people watching YouTube videos and stuff. It is pretty tough to take both sides. Even the Russians now, or the soldiers are just, from what I heard on the Times YouTube, was they know the only way for them to survive is to keep fighting because they can't go back. They'll get shot. And if they go back to Russia, they'll get shot. So they keep fighting. And the worst thing right now is Ukraine's ammunition. They're running out of munitions. They've had to pull out of Avdiivka as a result. And something's got to give. Denmark's giving all the munitions they have for ground artillery to Ukraine. Canada has just sent $60 million worth of drones over to Ukraine. So we'll see what happens. See, it's 5:19. We have Jim and Martha tonight, which I'm very happy. And are you here, Jim?
I am here. Can you see and hear me?
Well, I will in 2 seconds here. I'm not being very professional tonight, but let me clear off my screen here. Oh, I can't because I want to show you this. Right? Putin's got his picture of the shirtless horseman. Well, here's your president, Jim.
Looks like he's got a bad hernia.
Yeah. Maybe there's a better picture, Jim.
Mm.
All right. And then
Yes.
we got the two boys running. They're having a little vape, I guess. Would that be a vape, or somebody who put this together is just a genius, as far as I'm concerned. Now, the U.S. Army has also come out saying that Ukraine funding is vital as it's running out of money fast for operations in Europe,
Mm.
which is too bad. Do you have any thoughts about that, Jim, at all? Or
I think we gotta send as much money and arms as possible to continue this war of attrition of against how many million Russians are there? Isn't
there's only 300,000 fighting at a time. I mean,
yeah, Putin's about to send 500,000
Yeah.
in there.
They keep saying that, and he's got a presidential election, so I don't think he'll send them yet, not till after he wins his election, right?
Yeah. And
You know, but Zelensky is toying with that idea too, is trying to drum up more people for the front so they can get a couple of weeks off. Those soldiers have been fighting for a long time. And I think at the end of it, though, both sides are going to have serious PTSD. There's going to be a lot of people missing limbs, a lot of therapy. So if you were to ask me if this is a stupid war, yes, it is. This should not have happened. I can't understand how the Russians say, well, they're our brothers. I mean,
well, they're talking about Eastern Ukraine, supposedly.
well, they want to
Right?
go all the way to Kiev now, is what Medvedev, their former president, prime minister, said. And what's happened here, Jim, is as you well know, is all the Baltic states have rearmed. Germany is now rearmed. They've increased their budget. Japan has now changed their constitution so they can take part in a war, where before they could not, only for self-defense. Poland, massive heavy machinery and artillery and munitions. Good job, Putin. Look what you done, right?
Mhm.
This is where it gets like really stupid, right? How do you stop a bully with nuclear arms?
I don't know. No one's been able to stop the U.S. yet. So it's a good question.
Well,
And I wish somebody could stop us. And we could cure a lot of the evils in this world.
well, that's true. But in this case, with munitions for Ukraine, I think I can't say it's righteous, but they need it for self-defense.
They need, it's a meat grinder. We're sending munitions there to slaughter Ukrainians, to piss off Russia. That's what we're doing. We don't care about Ukrainians. We don't care anything. Our foreign policy doesn't give a shit about anybody we claim to help. All you have to do is look at the past history to realize that. I mean, you send all the money in the world to Ukraine. It's still not going to cause them to instantly double their population of eligible fighting adults against what Russia can amass.
Yeah, but Russia hasn't, and neither has Ukraine. Ukraine can still get into bring in another million more men. Now, if I was living in Ukraine, would I want to go fight? No. Maybe I'll do something else. My son in 2014, during the Maidan Revolution, he was going to go there and fight, right?
Yeah.
And I'm glad we talked him out of it. The thing is, so Ukraine still has more people left. Let's not get rid of them. Do you think a stalemate down the road? Let me back up. If Ukraine would have got the munitions, if they would have got the proper equipment, I think they could have pushed, had Russia on their back feet even more than they have in the last couple of years. And I think Russia might have pulled out. Now Russia's got the sense, hey, if we stay here, the world will forget about everything, and this part of Ukraine is ours. Right? I think that's the mistake right there. I think also the mistake, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, Jim, because you often do, is 2014, 15 when they took over Odessa, Obama's he pretty well placated it, and nobody did anything to Russia. Russia went in and took over part of Moldova, and there was nothing said. I don't. That's the mistake. Is letting bullies come in and do that. I would,
why is Russia a bully for doing everything that the United States has done in the last 150, 200 years to its neighbors and still doing? I don't get that. Because 43 million people who live in Ukraine to 143, to 143, oh, fuck. I don't know.
Coming from Canada, though, I have to say the beatings we get from America, we rather like. So we just grin and bear it, buddy.
But
whose fault would that be, Jim? It would be your voters, right? It would be you guys. Is it your guys' fault? Can I blame you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
See, here, I found him, guys. Here's the guy right there.
We're voting the lesser of two evils for so long that there's virtually no difference between the two evils anymore.
Yes.
And when it comes to end results, and we're just delaying the inevitable by settling for people like Biden. And the Democratic Party lurches to the right every time, every election, in order to try to gather more so-called moderate Republican voters, which they never get. And so they lose elections, they win elections, they still move to the right each election. So basically we have Republican light going against Republican strong or heavy in this country. And
I think you're preaching. Yeah. You're preaching the right stuff there.
Russia killed 76% of the Germans during World War II.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they'd be I think they have a right to have a say in what goes around along their borders.
No.
After they were invaded twice and
they were invaded twice.
Tens of millions of people to the Nazis. And I think.
Yeah, but a lot of those people, you're talking about the 70 million Russians lost. A lot of them were Ukrainians and Polish people. They were part of the Soviet Union at the time, right?
Yeah. Well,
right. So it wasn't necessary. It's like right now, it's the people from out in the countryside are mainly the soldiers. There's not many from Moscow or St. Petersburg.
Well, we don't know that for sure, do we? I mean, there's so much propaganda on both sides there, well, they'll be shot if they go back or they don't enlist. We don't know if that's true,
I'm pretty
the
sure
hard truth.
They just,
I've heard similar stories about Ukraine and what they do to the Ukrainian soldiers who refuse to fight. So,
I've
what are you
never
going to
heard
do?
Any of the stories like that.
You don't hear anything bad about Ukrainians.
I do.
But everything's bad about Russia. Okay.
I do. I hear some bad stuff about Ukraine for sure. What about the guy who stole the helicopter from Russia, got his family out, got some money. He was vacationing in Italy, and the pilot he got shot. Somebody killed him, and they think it was an FSB agent in Italy. Have you heard that story? Just curious.
No. Well.
Oh, okay. No, war is crap, and there's bad things. I'm not going to both side it though. Ukraine never invaded Russia. I can't, they never did that, and Russia did, and the world said, huh.
Who was there? If you want to go back in history and find how many times Ukraine and Russia and the Holy Roman Empire have
Holy
invaded
Roman-
each other and exchanged land mass. I mean, it's ridiculous to even,
right.
you know,
Why
it's
is it
in their, it's in their sphere of influence. They should, you know, if we can tell Mexico what to do and invade and topple every government south of our border without NATO coming in and getting threatened by the rest of the European nations, then who the fuck are we to say what Russia is doing is out of the norm?
Well, I don't think this is normal, Jim.
It's absolutely normal. It's exactly what United Kingdom has done
Yes.
for the last 300 years. And it's
But
what we've done for 200 years.
the
This is
one,
what we do.
yeah, but the one power that shows you how to do it is China, right? With their Silk Road initiative. They go in, they build stuff, they give money to despots and dictators, and they get the minerals. And you know, they own in Greece, I think the harbor is mainly owned by the China. And you know, these countries need the money, mainly because they screwed up. If you have an African country dictator, he wants a whole bunch of money fast, he goes to China, right? So
Yeah.
and now Russia's playing in Africa too as well. No, I don't buy your philosophy, but I appreciate you saying it.
It's not a philosophy. I'm just recounting history, but
okay.
It's
We could go back in history and there were no countries, right? Just somebody with a castle. But what I'm saying is,
you have great civilizations and societies
yes,
back to Neolithic times. You can dig that far back. You could do it in Palestine and Israel,
right.
and you could, but people will still say, well, it's always been Jewish people living there. No, it hasn't. You know, it's exchanged hands multiple times. Back in Neolithic times, there were great societies existing there as well. You know, you don't say, hey, give Jericho back to the Natufians, do we?
No, we don't.
Or whatever, whoever the fuck was living there then. It's
So,
ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The idea of countries is irrational to begin with.
no, that's true.
And
I could see your logic there, yeah, for sure. What about the United Nations, though, Jim? I thought the United Nations, this was all supposed to stop, right?
Well,
we're supposed to stop the wars. We're supposed to be able to feed people and stuff using the United Nations.
Well, how do we do that if the two most belligerent nations on Earth, well, the one most belligerent nation on Earth, United States, has veto power of everything.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Venezuela. So, who is now going to war over oil reserves, supposedly, with their neighboring country, Jim?
Well,
no,
it happens.
It happens. Yeah.
Shit happens. What are you going to do?
Well, here's my advice for Russia. If you could turn back the clock and just start making friends with the Ukrainians. They had all the money in there. All the corruption was coming from a Russian oligarch perspective. They owned everything. There was no reason for them to do this. And all these people lost as a result, right? It's my opinion. And you know, and I thank you for giving me yours. I appreciate that very much.
I just think it's foolish to fund any war since the end of the World War II. And World War II, which of course was preventable.
The leaders,
what people failed to do after World War I, and World War I was preventable with proper diplomacy. But you know, people keep starting alliances and arming themselves, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Well,
now
this
you're
guy,
turning me on
here,
again with that photo.
This guy here he could probably take Putin in a fight, don't you think? Maybe the leaders should all go and arm wrestle or something. Indian leg wrestle. Have a dick measuring contest. Something.
I think they are. I think that's what they're doing. I think everybody's having a dick measuring contest. And Raytheon is the aphrodisiac, and slaughtered kids in Palestine are given hard-ons to various nations. And so I haven't been, and I've been working and stuff, but I haven't really paid attention more to the Israel Hamas thing. Do you have any updates or anything you can share with me? How are things going there? Is it all fixed? Is it finalized? It's going swimmingly.
United Nations fix it?
United Nations can't do anything if the United States has veto power over every rational, humane effort to stage a ceasefire. I mean, what are you going to do? It's United Nations.
So we're still going strong in Israel and Palestine, is what you're saying, right?
Well, the U.S. is.
Well, what did you guys build? Anyways, you keep building these countries, and then you got to tear them down. You built Iraq. You let Saddam do whatever he wanted, then you had to tear him down.
We built worldwide resentment and hatred against us, and we deserve it.
Well, by golly, Jim, living north of you, I know that you're not all bad. Some of you are pretty good.
Well, because you only see the ones who try to escape.
Yeah, we try to help them.
Hey, let's go up to Canada. We think we have free healthcare up there, and they got great beer.
Holy fuck, it's cold. Let's go back.
Fuck, it's cold.
Get out of Canada. Yeah, well. So how you been, Jim? How's the weather treating you, my friend?
Oh, it sucks. It's dry, cold, icy.
Right.
Surrounded by stupid, doughy white people. I know I say that every time I come on, but there's a lot of doughy white people kind of dragging their knuckles around the parking lots of various supermarkets.
Have they not heard of Ozempic, right?
Ozempic.
Yeah.
Yeah. They haven't heard of exercise. That's for.
Well, some people it's been a lifesaver. I know Michelle's daughter, she takes it. She's pre-diabetic, so the doctor told her, you got to take this, and they're trying to have children. And the thing is, she takes it and then throws up. So maybe that's how you lose weight. Doesn't agree with her system.
Maybe she throws up because she's pregnant.
No.
Hmm?
Okay, I'll ask. But
if you want me to ask, I'll do it. I know.
Yes.
You trust my judgment. Oh, yeah, sure.
Melissa, talk to Jim. Melissa. See that. So the world's still going to shit. Do you see any positivity down the road? Like,
yeah, I do. Actually. I think that there's still a chance that some species of animal life may survive if when we finally annihilate the human race in mass wars, starvation, and pandemics. I still think, yeah, there's going to be probably a lot of some rats. I think squirrels. I think ground-dwelling animals will make it out, and some fish. A lot of plants. I think a lot of plants will survive, and so that's a positive thing, right? Yeah.
I suppose.
We keep edging towards the midnight on the doomsday clock because
yes, we do. Yes, we do. Because of our ability not to stand up to bullies and make them behave, in my opinion.
No, because of our ability to think we're standing up to bullies when in fact we're destroying the environment and any chance for getting out of this without a huge world war.
Well, that's kind of what I mean. Like when the United States does this pollution stuff for the corporations and the Teflon, other countries should say no, no, no. You know, so the world's not like we're not standing up for what's right. And I know the ability to negotiate is crucial. However, I don't think we got much to negotiate anymore between the climate, between the pollution, between the wars. We need to make a stand somewhere before we all die. I know we can all move to New Zealand and we'll be fine. All the rich people have done it. They went in there, build houses and vaults, in doomsday shelters. Maybe you want to split one?
Do you live near any kind of river or lake area?
Do I?
Yeah.
There's a river that cuts through the heart of the city. Yes.
Do you have any geological surveys, flood surveys that you can look at for, when things start rising due to climate change?
You know what is neat if you go like on a canoe or a walk on the riverbanks and you look up on the banks, and at one time the water, like, I don't know, 100 feet at the cliffs, the water used to be there, right? And it's quite amazing. See the carves out of the cliffs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, does flooding go on in Edmonton? It sure does, my friend. We have a community called Riverdale, believe it or not, and the flats get flooded. The Rossdale Flats, actually.
Well, soon it will be called Oceandale.
Maybe.
Or Lakedale, or Flooddale.
Maybe the Americans will come up. They won't be afraid because it won't be cold anymore.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a lot for you guys to come up here and exploit. Oh, wait. You're already doing that. And Canada's given out licenses to mining companies to go invade South America. And a lot of these companies aren't Canadian, but in name only for the stock exchange, right? And they've been doing some terrible things down in South America.
Here's the thing: if Ukraine would just surrender,
that would work. That's
an option. End the war,
right?
And the killing,
right?
And, if there weren't
would it, Jim?
If there weren't any guerrilla
Jim
revolts or anything like that, people would just say, if everybody in Ukraine theoretically just said, oh, okay, we're going to live in Russia now.
Oh,
and there were, okay. It's either live in Russia or have this war go on another 5-10 years, followed by a guerrilla uprising and revolts back and forth and horrible retributions and reprisals going on.
That's exactly what would happen. They would come in there, the Russians. They would take all the political prisoners. They would maybe kill them like they killed Navalny, or at least put them in Siberia, which they've already done with a whole bunch of Ukrainians out of the Crimea. And there would be these uprisings and everything, Jim. I don't think that's going to solve it.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it's theoretically. What if?
Right. Well, theoretically, what if the Russians just packed up and went home? Theoretically, what would happen? What would happen, Jim?
I don't know. What if we just packed up and left Texas and California and New Mexico? Gave it back to Mexico.
Right. On a rocket? Would you go? Where would you go? Or would you just become Mexicans then?
Become Mexican.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
If you have a theory shouldn't be any countries, then that works. Right?
I think it's kind of ridiculous, thinking that a superpower, Russia is still a superpower, should just sit there and not have any control over its borders. And
it had all sorts of control over its
I think it's also ridiculous to think that every complaint they have against Ukraine,
right,
is a lie. I think it's propaganda. It's just as it's propaganda to believe
Well,
everything Russia says about Ukraine. It's like you can't have a, just one way there. It's every side in war lie horribly and create propaganda and demonize the other side. And we don't think that's happening on
well,
both
no,
sides here. It's ridiculous.
I think with the stuff that Russia has done in Ukraine has demonized them themselves. As far as I'm concerned, the killing at Bucha, the rape and torture, is Ukraine doing that? I hope not. I don't have any
Well, there've been reports of that. So
Yeah.
it has everything. It's like those reports of mass rape in Gaza or
Yeah.
by the Palestinians to
Yeah, and that was,
Israelis have been debunked. And they
yeah, that
can't
was
even-
proven to be untrue, right?
Yeah. So, cutting
Right. But you can't, no, I think actions speak a lot louder than words. And Russia had nothing to fear with their borders. That's all made up in an old man's head.
Really?
I mean, yeah, if one thing though, America let Russia down is not trying to get them more into the world's economy like China. Like you could hate Nixon because he was a bad man. However, he had the right idea, get China into the economic society. And now, they want money for their people and stuff. If they go too much with Russia, like they've stayed out of the war, apparently, maybe as a result of economic concerns. And maybe we should have got Russia more involved, right? But they were like mafia in the 90s, buddy. They were killing each other and
what, Russia?
yeah.
Yeah, well, well, why don't you
just like
take a
Chicago
look
in the
at what
20s,
take a look at what
they
take
were
a look at
Chicago.
what the U.S. has been supporting.
Yes.
Yes, the U.S.
Bad.
did not support democracy in Russia. They support.
And that's you're bad, Jim. You voted wrong.
That's right, and that's you don't. They supported a corporate oligarchy in Russia.
Who, America? Yeah,
Yes.
well, yeah, I guess
So Putin is where he is today because of
America.
what we did.
Well, then make it up
we-
and send some bombs over to Ukraine to give to the Russians personally.
We engineered a coup to put Yeltsin in charge.
No,
He embarrassed.
No, you didn't. No, you had nothing to do with that. Did you? Maybe was there CIA stuff going on? Yeltsin came at no CIA guy.
You should really do some
Yeltsin in
research
front
on
of a
this and
tank
look up
say,
Time
"Stop that
Magazine. Time Magazine, where it says basically the cover has a picture of Yeltsin, and it says it basically admits that the U.S. overthrew, installed Yeltsin. You should really look at that.
I'm gonna have to, because I can't see a CIA guy pushing Yeltsin in front of a tank and saying, "Go stop that." You'd have to be pretty drunk. Well, it might have happened.
And he was.
However,
and he embarrassed his country, and he was corrupt, and
yes, he got Putin in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Putin was his right-hand man at one time. But Gorbachev it's like Bernie. It's a miss. Gorbachev was a miss in Russia, I think, with Glasnost, and he was wanting to apologize. And then the oligarch overthrew him. I think that was a missed opportunity. I think Gorbachev would have been quite fine. He seemed like a good man. So at the time, I don't know.
Cover Time Magazine. Exclusive. Big picture of Yeltsin on the cover. It says, "Yanks to the rescue. The secret story of how American advisors, CIA, etc., helped Yeltsin win." Helped. Okay, fine.
Helped Yeltsin. So is that by Anne Applebaum? Was she? No, I don't. Who's the writer on that?
I don't know. I just have the cover right here.
Okay. So
but we all know what happened when Yeltsin took over. It was a fucking disaster.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Me-
Not the first year, but after that, when he got more drunk and he let people do things. Yes, disaster. And I don't think the Russian people have actually had a democracy almost ever, to be honest.
Well, we wouldn't allow it. Basically, they almost did. They almost
no,
did.
you're taking it away from Russia, though. Russia could have forced that. America could not have forced them not to be a democracy.
America is. Who came before Yeltsin?
Well, it was Gorbachev, wasn't it? Sure, it was Gorbachev.
No.
And then
Was
before
it?
that, yes.
Let's take a look at that, shall
And
we?
then okay, and then before that was it Khrushchev?
I think now I'm going to have to take some time here and remind
Well,
myself.
we can't. We're on the clock here, buddy. So
Yeah,
Jim,
sorry.
do your research, and we can have a discussion next week, maybe, if you want. Besides, I heard your the lovely Martha is here. I heard that. I heard things.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, hi Martha. How are you? Oh, and she's muted herself.
Hi.
Oh, it's neat when you mute yourself. That's pretty cool. How are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you, Wally?
I'm okay. I'm listening to Jim's bullshit. I mean
Yeah.
his dictums.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean.
Well, thank you. So how are you doing?
Oh, well, it's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So
Thanks.
do you turn Jim's frown upside down? Is that
Oh,
true?
yeah, I sure do.
He is such a pessimist. You are, Jim.
I know I'm a realist. You're the
I'm-
pessimist because
I'm pragmatic.
you won't look at reality and
I'm a progressive pragmatic, buddy.
and accept reality for what it is. I find that very, very negative. You can't change anything unless you look at reality for what it is and accept it.
I could agree with you and you would tell me I'm full of crap. I think you're one of them guys there, anti-oppositional defiance syndrome.
No, I'm not.
It's called Polish oppositional defiance.
I just don't like war for war's sake and vengeance. And
I
that's what's
agree.
happening. That's
I
what's
agree.
happening here in Ukraine and Russia,
Yeah.
Palestine.
You and
And-
I can agree that this war should never happen. I would hope.
Palestine is genocide. That's just murder.
Yeah.
It's despicable.
And I blame Israel on that. That should have been solved years ago. And do you blame the U.S. too for not solving that? Because Jimmy Carter had a plan, and a couple other presidents had a plan, and never went through. So, I mean, all you had to do was withhold funding, and Israel would have caved, I would think, right? Two-state solution. Okay, no bombs for you till you agree.
That's what Ronald Reagan did, and he got a solution immediately.
Yeah. That's right.
So-
And then Egypt too there's some rumblings. I haven't kept up with the story. I've only heard Egypt too right now is like, which America is giving money to Egypt. You guys finance a whole bunch of people in the Middle East.
We're the greatest purveyor of violence in the world, as Martin Luther King Jr. said 50 years ago or so. And
You're giving all this money to countries that have healthcare. Just saying.
I know, that's another. Well, soon we'll be
Giving
doing it
them
to you.
healthcare.
We're going to invade you guys a second or a third time too.
Okay, and you can have home care with us if you come to Canada. Come in, we'll feed you, we'll clothe you, we'll get you a doctor. We'll do it. We're like that. You ever been Jersey, Jim? Jersey Jim, that's a good nickname. I like that.
I think you guys better submit too, unless you want to be slaughtered. I mean, that's the whole lesson of our so-called intervention for democracy. And
now, couldn't we have a curling match to figure that out, Jim? Eh? Couldn't we just do a good bonspiel and then we'll figure out if you guys can own us or not?
Are you talking about cornhole matches? What are you talking about?
Curling. Rocks on the ice. The women are playing this week, if in case you don't care. National championships.
Are those what is that? You're pushing something on ice?
Well, you throw a rock and then you sweep the rock into the house. Curling. The more you know, Jim. We could have a cornhole match, but I don't think a Canadian's that good at it yet. It's just come up to our country, so. No. You can have all the steroids you want too for the curling match, Jim. Wouldn't bother me. No.
Sorry, I don't know anything about curling. You're way over my head here.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I admit when I'm wrong. I don't know anything about curling. Don't have the slightest interest. I see people curling here sometimes, or is it is that the thing with the where people hop around on skates and and brush away the dust in front of these big metal balls or something?
No. They're not wearing skates. It's Teflon on your shoe. So, well, I don't want to. Our audience will get really bored here with curling. So let's get away from that. The weather, though, the weather's been dry for you, right?
Only 10% humidity.
Dude, how are you going to survive?
Freeze drying my ass right now as we speak. In the Folgers coffee crystals.
Oh, okay. All right. Did I hear a little birdie told me that we might have Melania Trump here tonight? Is that true?
Yeah, she's going to talk about the November election if you let her, for God's sakes. I mean,
well, yeah, cha. We've only got so many minutes left, so.
Let's see if I can go find her.
Yeah, could you find her for us?
Is that? Oh, yeah.
I'm going to remove myself from the picture here so I
can
listen to. Oh, look at that. That's Melania. Hi, Melania.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Melania. Melania Trump is here, and she wants to talk a little about the November election. And thank you for appearing on North of 48.
North of 48? Reminds me of short film Melania made called North of 48, in which Melania goes to Montreal, Canada, and does cream pie, squirt, anal north of 48 times with male lead Paul Bunyan.
You mean Montreal? I don't think that's a
Montreal.
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 Mount?
No. Mount.
Saskatchewan.
Montreal.
Okay, that's good. Yes. I don't think that 48 times, I don't think that's a thing, ex-First Lady.
Cream pie squared anal north of 48 times with Paul Bunyan's.
I don't think Paul Bunyan is even alive anymore.
It's Paul Bunyan's. He has bunions on his feet? No?
I don't even think that no, that's not why they call them bunions. It's
I really do not care, do you? I really do not care. Anyways, hello everybody. For those of you who do not know me, it is I, Melania, once and future Feast Lady of the Estados Unidos, a candy company. I, Melania, can personally incest you.
No, attest, not incest.
Incest to you.
Attest.
I, Melania, can personally attest, not incest to you, that Donald Trump is the least rapey of all in all the other candidates running for the whitest houses of American states. I know for a fact he never forced himself up or on me for sexing, and he has the receipts to prove it. Receipts I gave him after he paid me for it. So let this ending here and now, okay?
Okay, good, no problem. But how do you feel about the possibility of being in the White House again?
Give me a fucking break already. Can I just say this about this, please?
Sure.
I cannot wait for Tornell to win his third term for me to be Mrs. United States of Americans again. I so miss the olden days walking around in the Trump White House in terry cloth bathrobe, rifling through my big swag room full of keychains, crystal knock bookends, and trinkets, and saying, "Ho hum, I am so bored and sick of all these sheets.
Wait,
But I
wait,
have
wait.
to do this, right?"
Wait, you had a big swag room full of free stuff people would send you?
Oh, yeah. I love the American First Lady position because every aspect of being First Lady is optional. Fuck all these charity bullshits. All I want to do is walk around the Pepsidental mansion in terry cloth bathrobe, rifling through my big swag room full of keychains, crystal knot bookends, and trinkets, just like First Lady Marsha Washington did.
Martha Washington.
Yeah, her too. All of the Washington girls had big swag rooms. And don't accuse them of being disengaged and lazy. They had lots of slaves to help them busy, okay? Just like Torneld and I will once we are appointed to Mr. and Mrs. Highness.
No, you mean Highness.
Highness.
No,
Highness.
not heinous, Highness.
Heinous. That is what I said. That is our pledges. And another thing, we care about the poors. Let them eat our golden sneakers. Melania is so exhausted now. I take nap. These terry cloth robes do not wear themselves, you know. Goodbye, north of 40 grapes. And do not get sick with the no virus and cornholio 19 virus. It is waste of time.
Okay, that's really disrespectful. It's north of 40, not north of 40 grapes, and it's not the no virus or whatever. It's or cornholio 19 virus. Okay?
I really do not care. Do you give me a fucking break already, Jimmy's?
Okay, well, it's been a great honor again having you on north of.
Don't forget to buy the tacky sneakers, the tacky golden sneakers.
How much are they, by the way?
We
now?
are broke. They are $499,000.
Well, that's a bit steep for my pocketbook. Well, anyway, thanks a lot for coming on.
We need to pay for the prenup.
Well, thank you very much, Melania Trump. We look forward to seeing you out of the White House again.
Thank you very much, Melania.
Heil Hitler.
No. That's it. Even you know that's not a good thing to say anymore. Even in Slovenia.
Yeah,
Give me a break already.
Spasiba.
But I have to do it, right?
So these sneakers, you think people are going to buy them?
They sold out the first night.
I believe they have sold out already. Sold out.
Is it My Pillow guy made the sneakers, or I don't know what company made the sneakers? Any idea?
I don't know. Hugo T. Boss. Same people who made the SS uniforms in World War II.
Ooh, well. And the tattoos they were wearing were invented by IBM.
They
Now
look
that's-
great on toenails.
You're going to get in trouble for that, fella.
Will I? Oh, sorry. It's just good business practices you can use anywhere. So this is what it is. Thank you so much, Melania. I appreciate it. Can you bring Martha back when you get a
You are
chance?
welcome. Let me go find her somewhere.
Okay.
She is trying on my trinkets.
Your trinkets.
Trinkets.
No, you cannot borrow. I really do not care jackets.
You know,
One moment.
is that a frightening thought, Melania, back in the White House? Because she pretty well stayed away, right? She stayed out of things, only occasionally got herself into trouble, but
Well,
stayed in New York with her child. And Martha, and did you
Hi.
see how tall Barron is now? Melania's son?
Paul's-
Barton.
Tall as Paul Bunyan.
So I don't know what you guys are going to do this year. You guys are going to do something you always do. November 2024, that's this year. But there's really no excitement anymore. Oh, that's a nice painting.
That is Melania with Trump stakes and Barton you see swinging from the chandeliers.
Oh, yeah.
That it is in Mar-a-Lago halls. That is our room in Mar-a-Lago halls.
It's Mar-a-Lago, not Mar-a-Lago holes.
I
Oh,
think it's wonderful.
It is the White House. We have in the White House with the fucking Christmas tree.
beautiful.
Would you like to see another? Here is
Sure.
one more. It's another family photos. These are family photos.
What are those monkeys doing on the banister?
Those are not monkeys.
What are they?
Those are me children's.
I think it's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's put this on here. So Jim, Jim or Martha, before we call it a night, is there any thoughts you want to give us? Any what
On
does
what?
the future hold? Oh, actually, you told us that already. It's destitute, and we might as well not do anything. That's the Jim playbook, right? No, or
Do
there's
anything.
nothing we can do. Or,
Sometimes the absence, it's like a great painting, you know? You don't have to fill the whole space up with shit, you know?
Mhm.
Sometimes it's better to just edit things out, and what you're left with may be better than what you thought you're going to stick in there to begin with.
Are you talking about the last segment?
Oh, I like the last segment.
Oh, okay.
That was cool.
Mm.
No, I just do you want to leave us with any thoughts, any last thoughts before we go? And hopefully we'll see you guys again soon. Anything on your mind, Martha?
Oh, no.
Did you get your tomato plant started?
No, I haven't, but I started my artichokes.
Yay, for
Yeah,
those who
they're
eat
coming
artichokes.
up
What a
already.
disgusting vegetable.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. That
No,
and
they're
aubergine,
not.
eggplant, and cilantro. Oh,
You don't like you've never had a good Sicilian stuffed artichoke then, have you?
I have not. I
No.
have not. I
It's
can't
stuffed
even
with
get.
breadcrumbs and cheese and
Okay.
garlic. Oh, they're so good.
Maybe if
Maybe
you made.
someday I'll come on the show and share one of my great recipes.
I would love that. I think that would be good. That
Okay.
would be just awesome. That would be a good thing.
You've never had a cilantro eggplant smoothie?
No. I haven't even had avocado toast. I've bought avocados, but I forget to make the toast. I don't see what the big deal is. So
Well, actually, it is.
Yeah.
It is pretty tasty, you know.
no, okay. Do you put olive oil and some salt and pepper on it?
Yeah, a little, no salt, a little
No salt?
pepper, olive
Okay.
oil. Yeah,
Right.
you know, it's the staff of life.
Do you just scoop it out and spread it, or do you got to blend it, the avocado?
No, I eat the whole thing whole,
Oh, do
like
you?
like a gigantic ground sloth from the 30 million years ago. You know, that's why they survived with the fruit and that has these big pits in them. They survived, the theory is, because of ancient ground sloths and other large animals from the prehistoric age ate them and were able to poop them out whole so that they would grow and propagate. Google it.
Propagate. It's a very good word, Jim.
Well,
And
not
I'm going to
propagate.
say, and I'm going to say thank you very, very much for you guys showing up. I hope I didn't take too much of your time. Always appreciate you guys. And if you want to cook something, I mean, man, that'd be some great ASMR right there. You know, that'd be just awesome, Martha.
Well, I don't know about cooking. That's too much pressure, but I'll certainly share some recipes.
Okay, share some recipes. That would be cool. And Jim, you could share. What would you share, Jim?
Bile.
Besides your wit.
I got a big bowl of bile and a big mason jar collection of bile and
Stomach acids.
Stomach acids. Yeah. I'll tell you, I think do you think it's Maine? Maybe you should get out just once in a while out of Maine.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Just for a couple of days, maybe.
Please.
Out of this country. Out of this freaking country would be, you know, a
Well,
really.
you want to come to Canada, come to Canada. We'll show you how to curl. So
Last time I was in Canada, we were nearly heckled off the stage because we criticized America. You guys want to be Americans. Well, at least up in Vancouver Island. That was the most hostile place we've ever had a comedy gig at.
yeah, that's what you were saying before. I find that weird.
Even worse than South Texas.
Did you get beer bottles thrown at you or anything? Or
in Vancouver Island?
yeah.
Nearly. Yeah. You know,
Okay.
there were threats of physical violence.
Oh, Jesus.
Things like that. You know, you don't, you know, it's like fucking they hated the spotted owl because for some reason the spotted owl was for some reason responsible for them having no more work left, even though, you know, they're the ones who clear cut the forests on that around them. And yeah,
life is tough on the island in Vancouver. The weather's just too good, or it rains. So
well, they have the bathtub races. Nanaimo.
well, we have those up in Edmonton too as well for Klondike Days. So and in the Yukon they have bathtub races. So
we have shower races down here. Okay.
You take care.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Martha.
Thank you, Wally.
See you
Always
next
a pleasure.
time.
Nice to see you.
You guys are great.
See you in court.
That's true. So that's the end of North 48 for Friday. Remember on Monday we have Paul J at 7 p.m. Eastern, and you're going to really enjoy that. Take care.